Good morning and welcome to the Workforce Resources Expo. This morning we're here with Community Action and Mary Raitano is here to talk to us. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning.
So tell us, what does Community Action do?
Well, Community Action has a number of different programs. We started as an organization back in the mid-1960s under President Johnson's War on Poverty. So obviously the programs that we offer typically are aimed towards those who are on a lower income scale, and all of our programs do have income eligibility guidelines. So we actually have a number of different programs throughout 4 departments. I actually am in charge of 3 of those departments: energy services, housing services, and then also economic assistance. And so probably the one, and then our 4th department that I don't is actually our largest, and that's our Head Start and Early Head Start programs for those who have childcare issues, have little ones that they want to get into preschool. So those are kind of our 4 departments that we operate in. Probably for folks that are watching this, the most important of those departments is really our economic assistance department. And it's a way that we can support individuals and families in our community with some of the extras that they need. And sometimes I know those things are very important as people are looking at trying to get into a job, maintain a job, and have a lot of other things going on in their lives. So you want me to tell you a little bit about those? Some of those
That would
services?
be terrific. You know, we want to keep people employed. So if somebody's
Absolutely.
struggling and they can get some help, a company would love to know what that looks like.
Yeah, so under economic assistance programs, I think one of the most important things that we have is our car repair program. We know that transportation is really an issue many times for workers, especially in a community such as Medina County, where things are a little spread out. We have limited public transportation, although we do have transportation within the cities. We have those loop services available. I think it's a little bit more difficult, and we know that I believe the statistic is somewhere around 95% of the individuals in Medina County have a car. But when we're talking about folks on that low income scale, we know that it can be a challenge sometimes to keep that automobile running and being able to afford to do that. So for those individuals that qualify, the income guideline is 200% of federal poverty, which, I know that doesn't mean a lot to folks, but for a family of 4, it's about $52,000 a year, just over 52,000. So we're obviously talking, when we're talking about programs for individuals, they're working and non-working individuals, because we know that there are a lot of families that are working that are under that income level. So we screen everybody for income, but then we can pay up to $1,000 on a car repair
Oh, wow.
for a family, which is fairly significant. I know it doesn't cover everything, but I think that that's a real benefit to folks. So anybody that's out there that's struggling with a way to get to work, they can utilize that service. Also, for those who are working within the communities of Medina, Brunswick, and Wadsworth, we have free loop passes available for them. So if they're working anywhere on any of those loop services, that's really helpful that they can come. We can send them bus passes out every month at no cost to them if they're income eligible for us. So we feel like those transportation services are really important in helping families. We also have a food pantry that operates out of Rittman, but we also keep some food boxes here in our office in Medina on North Court Street that are available to families that might need those as well.
That's terrific. And you're absolutely right. Those transportation services are invaluable. One of the things we hear from companies is people who need to get their car repaired and they're late because they had to get a ride or they had to do something else, and then they get a demerit, and so it just builds on itself, and all of a sudden they find themselves with attendance problems, so they're out of work and they can't get the car repaired because they're out of work. Now they can't get a new job, so it's a whole vicious cycle. So to
Absolutely.
have that service, that's wonderful. So yeah, we definitely are excited to tell companies about that.
Yes.
Great. Do you want to touch on your other services real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just to talk about how else we can support families, because I think that, most employers we realize here, obviously, when our employees are dealing with other issues outside of work, that it typically is going to affect their work performance as well.
Absolutely.
And again, that idea of even being late or not being able to come in because they have to deal with other services. So probably our most popular service is really those services where we can help with utility bills. And we know that right now we're going into the winter season and people really worry about keeping heat on in their houses. So we have a number of different services that are available. And we always tell people, if you're struggling to pay your utility bills, like community action should really be your first stop, because we have access to state programs that can really assist individuals and families that no one else in the county is going to have. So you might be able to get $200 from your church, you might be able to get $200 for a friend, but we really have access as the only provider for some of these state services that can really help individuals, especially during the winter heating season. So HEAP credits are available to folks. That it's a one-time credit on your heating bill. Winter crisis program is going to be starting November 2nd, and we can pay up to $175. That will keep you on for 30 days, and then we can get you on a payment plan. So those services that are crucial to families and things that employees are worrying about that may affect their job, I think are really important. So we have those. We also have assistance. We have additional utility funds assistance during the pandemic. So we got some CARES Act money, so we can help people pay even more on their utility bills, including their water bill. And then also we have housing services that are available to people too. So people don't always realize that we might be able to come out and put in a new refrigerator for you that's more energy efficient.
Wow.
Or a new furnace or hot water tank. And so again, those issues that employees are thinking about when they're supposed to be working because their heat went out today and they needed to get a new furnace, that's something that we might be able to come out and replace for them, as well as just doing basic weatherization and insulating their home better to cut down on those bills. So I think those are a lot of things that we do at Community Action that people aren't really familiar with. I think people are generally familiar with Head Start and how that works, but I think one thing that people don't know is that our Head Start program actually works for preschool children from pregnant women all the way up to age 5. And so and I think most people don't know that. They think of the preschool aspect, which is our center aspect. We have 4 centers around Medina County: Wadsworth, Medina, Brunswick, and Chatham. And so we have those centers that we're constantly enrolling into, but then we also have in-home services. And those in-home services will start with a woman when she's pregnant, and we can send somebody out to work with her and her children. We use a 2-generational approach to all of our Head Start services, where we're really trying to support parents. So again, if we have a parent who is an employee and is having other issues, we have social workers on staff and family specialists that work with them to get other services as well. So maybe they need help with a mental health issue or an addiction issue or other things. Our social workers will be working with those families too. So it's not just working with the kids, it's working with the parents as well, helping with employment issues and all of those things that may come up in a family situation.
Wow, that's terrific. You guys really offer a wide breadth of services, don't you?
Well, yeah, and I think that, sometimes that gets lost, unfortunately. I think we're known for certain things. I think people have heard Head Start. I don't think they understand, unless they've used the services, how comprehensive those services are. People that have used our utility services may know a little bit about us for those. But again, I think that there's a breadth of our services that do get lost. And especially right now, we understand families are really struggling in ways that they probably haven't, before with the pandemic. And so I do want to really stress that we've really expanded our food service. Our food pantry runs out of Rittman, which is actually in Wayne County, but it also serves the Medina community as well. So we're starting to offer food boxes out of our Medina office. If somebody wants to call us and come and pick one of those up, we just know it's a time where people are really struggling. So we know that we need to step up and kind of expand some of our older services as well.
Well, it's terrific to know that you're here and doing these things. That's great. So thank you so much for sharing with us today. And we'll have information at the end of the video on how to get a hold of everyone. But did you want to give us the number?
Well, I'll tell you, just call our Medina office. That's the easiest way to reach us. And I know that you're going to put that number up, Kathy.
Perfect.
So call us at the Medina office, and we're here 8 to 4:30, Monday through Friday.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mary. It's great to see you. And we'll carry on with helping people get through the pandemic and then on beyond.
Great. Thank you so much, Kathy.
Have a great day.